So what? So you basically you think there is going to be a Fed bailout after all, to avoid Chuck?
I don't, I no, I think they're going to default. I think they're going to default. Now, I'm involved in New California. The only way you can restructure California is you can't do it with the existing constitution, the existing balance sheet, and the existing liabilities. Constitutionally, spending in California is locked in by many of these recipients of the spending. So if you try to do a reorganization and there's constitutional requirements to fund that, you don't get anywhere. If you were to divide the state in half, and you were to, since it's a smaller amount of the cosmopolitan inner city areas and all that, that's going to be about 15% of the state. The other side is 85% of the state. Now, about 60+% of the employees are in this larger 85% of it, but virtually all the management, senior management, is in the 15%. If you were to carve out another state, California could assign, which is what they would do, all of that management overhead to the new California state. Now, New California state would take the workers, but we would cut the overhead. Since California has 16 to 17 layers of management, we would cut that to 6. So we'd end up with 61% of the employees, but only about 38% of the state costs, because the real payments in California are in this professional management class, and there's tremendous overhead burden. So I think that's what's going to happen one way or the other.
Well, if there is
Now,
no new,
why can't California do that? Once again, they've got these obligations.
yeah, if there's political headwinds that prevent the state splitting, because it has been attempted multiple times. The state inception, there's been people wanting to break up the state because California is fundamentally too big. I agree with you on that one. The thing is that none of them have really gotten very far.
But I think California has to go through we're leading the country here. We're going to go through a really hard existential crisis. You're going to change the attitudes of the state. I believe you'll have to split it into 2 states. It's the only way you can restructure it. And this is what we talked about in 2009 and 2010. It's just the state couldn't do it. The lawyers said the state couldn't do it. So somebody else has to do it. But this is going to happen. They're going to go through the cauldron.
I just think that the implications on the federal level for the Senate is going to be the hardest challenge for that. Like, why would either side want to add the risk of changing the balance? Like, I could either, if New California is a blue state, then the Republicans will oppose it. If it's a purple or a red state, the Democrats will oppose it. So
well, let's think about that. You're gonna carve up this. I think it's 54 congressional seats, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So they're going to go not according to square feet. They're going to follow the people.
no,
So
but that doesn't change whether it's split. The change is the Senate. House Representatives.
no, the Senate. That's right. There will be 2 new seats for the Senate. But remember, I talked about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico right now is a $56 billion a year, burden on the free cash flow of the United States. I believe that California will split, and probably you'll have to do another state with it, Puerto Rico, or it'll just be that bad that they'll have to take it and deal with it. So, Nick, it's not a matter of fair. It's not a matter of reasonable. It's so big that there's nobody wants to pay for it. If you're a senator, a congressman, there's only 5 states that are like California financially in that kind of bad shape. Everybody else is pretty good shape. It's California, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Illinois. They just run a different business model, and they're all deeply in trouble.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us again. We'll follow up with you in around 6 to 8 months when the next developments are supposed to happen in California, or if anything interesting goes on in China. Thanks for joining us, Chris, and everybody.
Great
Thanks
to be
for
with you, Nick.
watching.